Hey folks, it's me, Kamari, and I'm back with another You Better Read, and I am very excited to present the book that is featured today because it's a book that I read when I was a youngin', so I'm excited to read it to you all, and it's Where the Wild Things Are, story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. So let's find out where the wild things are, shall we? The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, his mother called him Wild Thing. And Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he went to bed without eating anything. The very night in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew. Until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still!" and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around from far away across the world he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh please, don't go! We'll eat you up! We love you so!" And Max said, "No!" The wild thing roared their terrible roars, and gnashed their terrible teeth, and rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye. And sailed back over a year, and in and out of weeks, and through a day. And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. The end. And that's been Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. Now, while we have finished reading Where the Wild Things Are, we are not finished with Where the Wild Things Are, because I have some questions for you all to answer. Now, what's most important in answering these questions is not if you get them right or wrong. What's most important is that you're using your good old brain. And I bet you have a good brain. So I want you to stand up right now and say, "I got good brains." Or that's not proper English. Say, "I have a good brain." Now you say it. That's right, you have a good brain and you're going to use it, right? Good. So with these questions, once I ask them, feel free to shout them at me through the screen. Shout them if you know the answers. Now if you don't know them immediately, that's perfectly reasonable. Wait till the video's finished, sit down with an adult, or a brother or a sister and go over the questions. And I'll make sure to leave the answers in the description of this video. So, with that being said, let's get into these questions. My first question, what kind of suit was Max wearing? My second question, how did Max get to where the wild things were? For my third question, why was Max named the king of all the wild things? And for my last question, why did Max give up being king of all the wild things? And that's it, y'all. This has been a very fun You Better Read with me, Kamari, and I'll see you all next week.